I'm Zokuba, and I'm going to be your host for the next couple of runs. But if you've missed anything and you are so sad about that, don't worry, I get that feeling. You can find them all uploaded after the marathon on our YouTube channel. There will be a handy link down there in our stream panels to the VODs. In fact, you can go check out our YouTube channel right now down there. But let's not talk about the past. We got some nice runs coming up here. Actually, coming up right now, we've got M-Chan388 playing New Super Mario Bros. 2 Warpless. We all know Super Mario Bros. We know how to play the game. But can you play the game fast? M-Chan sure can. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you. It's actually M-Chan338, but we'll let that pass. But before I begin, I just want to give a shout out to the Power Up with Pride staff for actually adding this run yesterday. So we'll see how this goes. It's also really early. It's currently 6:10 a.m. for me. So if I sound a little out of it right now, it's because I'm like just waking up, so please bear with me. Anyway, time does not start until I start moving on the map, which means I have to get past a 50-second cutscene. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just start a new game right now. Alright, so this is New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the Nintendo 3DS. It's the third game in the New Super Mario Bros. Series, with the second game being New Super Mario Bros. Wii. I ran this game last year during Winter Pride 2021 on the All Castles category, which is about an hour and a half long. And this time I'm running Warpless, which is around 50 minutes long. So Warpless is a very simple category where you don't use any warp cannons at all. So scattered up the world maps, there are these warp cannons that you use to skip worlds and large portions of the game. So you get like a 26-minute run. Warpless does not use any of the warp cannons, so what you're going to be seeing is like the natural route of the game. All right, so time's about to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so let's start off the first level here. Right off the bat, I'm going to be going slightly out of my way to get star coins. And it's not a 100% run, but the reason I'm getting star coins is because scattered throughout the overworld map, there are these star coin signs that you use to, oh, this is not good already. All right, but yeah, you use these star coin signs to either take faster paths throughout the overworld or just access faster levels. And so over the course of the run, I'm going to be getting a total of 15 star coins. And the star coin route is pretty precise early on, as we spend star coins in the first 3 worlds right away. There's very few star coins where they are just on my path, and I have to go a bit out of my way to get about half of them. So the first level was pretty basic, and this level is going to be pretty basic. We're not going to be getting any star coins here. The next level, 1-3, is going to feature the main power-up of the game, which is the Super Leaf. If you played Super Mario Bros. 3, then you probably are familiar with this power-up, and that it allows you to turn into a raccoon, and you can glide across obstacles and fly over a bunch of different things within levels. And so unlike in Mario 3, where you don't use the Super Leaf that much, you use the Super Leaf basically throughout the entire run of this game. It's very busted, because as soon as I grab the Super Leaf, I'm going to be doing a cool little technique here that hopefully I can get, and it's the main reason why the Super Leaf is very powerful in this game. So here's the Super Leaf, and as you can see on the bottom left of your screen, we have the P meter, and if I fill up to full, then I have P speed, and with P speed I can fly. And so what you're seeing me do here with these spins is I'm using a technique called spin flying, where I am basically mashing run and jump simultaneously. In my case, it's Y and B at the same time. And that just allows me to keep my speed while I'm flying. Otherwise, if I'm just flying normally, then I just lose all my horizontal speed for vertical height. So this is used quite a lot in order to fly over a bunch of stuff, as well as like perform tricks later on. So this is the first tower level now. Okay, that was close. Okay, so yeah, this is the first tower level, and tower levels are these levels where you just basically just climb up as high as you can, and these levels tend to be pretty tough to optimize. But fortunately right there, that tower, that was a very clean climb, and then we're now at the boss of every tower, which is going to be Reznor, returning boss from Super Mario World. And the way you fight Reznor is pretty much the same as how you fight him in Mario World. You just hit him from underneath, and you pretty much win. And unlike in Mario World, this game has more creative ways to fight him. The fights are different for Reznor each time, so you don't fight him the same exact way. So you're going to be seeing more ways to fight Reznor later on. So now up to the second half of the first world. We're going to be getting this star coin right here, and that's going to bring us at exactly 5 star coins. Coming up in the next level after 1-4 is going to be not 1-5, but is going to be the first level that is locked behind a star coin sign. And the reason we're doing 1-A, which is the level that we're going to be doing next, is because 1-5 is a water level, whereas 1-A is not a water level. And if you have an option between a water level and a non-water level, then the non-water level is faster. So this alone already makes the star coins worth it. So this is about a 50-second time save right away in World 1. So normally you're supposed to use that pipe cannon down below in order to get up here, but flying up like this saves about 1.5 seconds. Okay, very nice. And now coming up is the castle, the first castle. So castle levels have a bunch of, different obstacles that, it's supposed to be like your first pretty difficult level. And I'm going to be doing a very precise P-speed build-up in order to get a star coin. So let's see if I can get it. Okay, very nice. You have just enough room to build up that P-speed in order to get that second star coin right there. Now, there's actually, on those swinging ropes that you see, there's actually some strats that you can do where you can actually jump from the tight ropes 1 frame after you grab onto the tight ropes, and you actually gain a little bit more speed out of them, but it's very inconsistent, and so I just don't do it at all. But here we are at the boss of the castle, which is a Koopaling. In World 1, it is Roy Koopa. Now, much like bosses in a lot of Mario games, if you fight them the same way, then you get very consistent results. So what I'm doing here is, I know exactly when Roy is going to come out, and so I just hang around at that spot, and then as soon as Roy comes out of his shell, and then I just hit him right away, the moment that he's vulnerable to hit him. And then the other optimization I'm doing is right after I beat a Koopaling, I am flying up to the top of the screen to grab the key, as the key descends really slowly. So that was the first world completed right there. So up next is World 2, the Desert World, and this is where the difficulty of the run starts to increase. As World 1 is a very basic world. They try to introduce you to the game. But now we're going to be introduced to harder levels as well as some tougher tricks. So the first couple levels here, they're pretty basic. But then when we get to the second half of World 2, then that's when things start to get kind of tricky. So at the end of every level, what you're seeing me do is you notice that I grab the flagpoles at the 2,000 point mark, and that's because Mario and the flag both move at different speeds, and you want them both to stop at the same time in order to save a few frames here and there. And while it's a few frames, you know, we go through a bunch of levels in this run, so that does add up. Alright, so 2-2, it has a vertical climbing section halfway into the level, but we're going to build up P speed right over here, just like that, and we're basically going to skip the vertical climbing section. Then grab that star coin right there, because our next level is actually going to be 2-A instead of 2-3. 2-A saves about 12 seconds over 2-3, but because we spend time going out of our way to get some star coins, you end up saving a net 6 seconds. And this level is much harder than 2-3. So we'll see how this goes. So the beginning of the level is very difficult right away, because I have to build up P speed very precisely. Okay, so I got it. Hold down over here to grab this second coin. And then the very last part of the level is the hardest part. Just like that. Okay. So that fuzzy that I just flew right through can sometimes hit you, and if you do get hit by that fuzzy, then you are dead. Fortunately, it didn't happen, so we're still alive. No deaths so far. So 2-Tower is a cycle-based level where, you know, there are these moving blocks, and you can get crushed by them if you're not careful. I'm going to be doing a cycle where if my movement is good enough, by the time I make it to the top, then all I have to do is just wait a second if I can get up there without making any mistakes. So you can afford to lose time and not lose any time overall. So like right there, I had to wait for that those set of blocks to raise up by the time I got up here. So another Reznor fight. This time there's 4 Reznors as opposed to 2. So, you know, a little bit harder, but, you know, not so much. With the Super Leaf, these guys are really easy. There's actually a harder cycle that you can make in 2-Tower, and it saves 6 seconds, and that is to do the similar movement that I made up to the top, but like cutting your movement a lot tighter in order to beat the very last cycle that I had to wait for. But if you mess up, then you just lose 6 seconds, or you're just dead. Because it's very difficult, and you don't really see very many people do it. So this is our first ghost house, and it's also... ghost houses in this game are very gimmicky. Normally, ghost houses are like these complex levels that trick the players into getting lost. This is also our first auto-scroller, as you can see right here in this screen. The gimmick of this level is there's this giant boo chasing after us, and this boo will basically advance the progression of the level. If I turn to the left at the big boo, then he stops in place and the level does not progress, just like what I briefly demonstrated there in order to hit this hidden vine block. So you want to always be facing right. And then I hit that hidden vine block down there in order to reveal this part of the level, which is the secret exit. And this secret exit is going to give us access to 1 level, as opposed to the normal path where there's 2 levels up ahead. And those 2 levels that I would normally do in the normal route would actually are both really hard levels. This level is kind of hard in a way, to some degree, but when you have the Super Leaf, then it's not a problem. In the 100% category, this level is one of the most inconsistent levels in the game because you have these flying bombs, and they're coming out of these cannons, and the height that they come out of the cannons is very inconsistent. They're like seemingly random. But with the Super Leaf, you can just fly over everything, and when you're not running 100%, then you're just basically flying over everything. So you don't have much to worry about there. Two Dash Castles is the first level that introduces the first major skip of the run. So normally there's a giant button that you use to ride across a huge pool of lava, but what we're going to be doing here is we're just going to just fly over this. So we're going to start by building Peace Speed like this, and then we're going to start flying. And just like that, first try. So one of the things that makes a lot of these tricks possible is you're seeing that whenever I land on a platform for a few frames with the Super Leaf, while I have Peace Speed, then you actually gain your Peace Speed back. So it allows you to basically keep Peace Speed throughout the entirety of levels. And that is not a thing in Mario 3. So it's another one of those things where the Super Leaf is just very powerful. Wendy Koopa is... he comes out from random sides, but you have enough time to get to the side that he comes out from that the randomness is just not a factor at all in this fight. So we're 2 worlds down, and so we're about a third way through the run. There are 6 worlds that we go through in this run, unlike the traditional Mario games where you go through 8. So it's a very short game as a result when you're just playing through the game. So World 3 is a very unique world where there's one theme in every world, but this is the only world where there's 2 themes. It's a beach world and a forest world, both combined. The first half of the world is a beach. You're going through like beach levels. And whereas the second half of the level, you're going through forest levels. So what I'm doing in this level right here is I'm chaining stars. And when you chain stars, basically you grab a star, and then if you make it to the next block on time while you have a star, then that will contain a block, or contain a star. And being invincible throughout the entirety of this level is good, because when you're just doing this level normally, those cheeps can be a pain. Alright, so the last opportunity where we're going to be using star coins right here, and this is to access 3-A. Now we did say that if we have an option to skip water levels, then we can skip them. But here, in this case, it is not worth doing 2 levels just to save 5 star coins. So we just do this level right here, and it's better than doing an extra level up on the top path. The only thing to talk about for this level is that there's these fast-moving currents that will always push you forward. And then the level after this level, which is the tower level, is also an auto-scroller. So here, this is the perfect opportunity to read donations, if there's any.
I'd actually like to take this time to just point out we've got a ton of amazing incentives coming up for later runs. The closest one is actually Shovel Knight Showdown. If we reach our incentive goal of $750, we will get to see Tempest Mask fight the Battletoads. Right now we're at $45 out of $750. So if you want to see that, you got to get those donations in. But also later tonight at the end, we have one last lost game for you all. Hollow Knight. If we reach our incentive goal of $3,000, right now we're at $524, by the way, we will get to see Allison 8-Bit run Hollow Knight as our grand finale. So definitely get your donations in. That's exclamation mark donations in chat if you need the link. And again, all of this is going to the great cause that is the Trevor Project.
You can keep going if there's anything else you want to say.
Sure. Also, as a reminder that, hey, if you need a little bit of coziness in your life, the Yeti has partnered with us for Power Up with Pride 2022. This is the last day you can get the exclusive t-shirts that they've designed for runs. One of them is actually a Super Mario one. So go ahead, go to theyeti.com, type in exclamation mark Yeti in the chat if you need that handy link. To check out those t-shirts, we've got 6 excellent designs for you, and $5 from each shirt that you purchase goes to benefit the Trevor Project. Yeah, I'm seeing those Yeti links popping up in chat. And again, thank you all so much for being here.
So I grabbed that coin block earlier. So you may notice there's a flying coin block that's been following me around the world map, and that's not the one. The coin block I have right now is not the coin block that's been following me. I grabbed one within the level itself. What the coin block will do is, as you can see, every time I'm moving around, I get coins, and it will wear out after a while. When I get hit with the coin block, then I actually lose the coin block without losing any of my power-ups. And there's one point in the run where we take advantage of that. The only reason I grabbed the coin block here in this level is because it loses no time and it's just purely for safety. I'm not likely to get hit, but if I do get hit, then I don't lose any of my power-ups and I don't regret it. So, it may not look like I had a chance to get hits at all, but something else I didn't talk about with Resnor is that there's a random chance where one of the Resnors can shoot a fireball. It's very rare, so it's usually in the back of your mind, so you don't really think about it. Which actually brings to attention, this game has very minimal RNG. So this is a very approachable speedrun as a result. 3-4 is divided up into 2 sections. The first section is really easy, as you can see, very simple platforming. The second part has cycles of rising poison water. There's a very hard cycle, which I'm not going to go for. You can actually just go right through and try to jump through those like tight spaces while the cycle is up, but it's very difficult. If you mess up, you're dead. So I just kind of take the half-second time loss to kind of play this level a little bit safe. Also, you may notice on the bottom right of your screen that we have the external coin count, and it says 9,999,000, a bunch of nines, basically. So one of the main selling points of this game is that one of the main gimmicks is to get 1,000,000 coins, and it actually accumulates throughout your entire cartridge. So it actually plays a role in the speedrun itself, because when you beat a castle or a tower level, then the game counts up the coins. And so when you max up your coin count, then it actually skips the prompt of the game counting up your coins, because it can't count any more of your coins at all. So that actually does save time. Over the course of this run, you save about 10 seconds. And the level that I just did previously, 3-4, is actually a very good level to grind up your coins if you want to, you know, save the most amount of time in this game. If you want to, you can go to the coin rush mode in this game, and you can grind up to 30,000 coins per few minutes, and if you do the math, you say that takes about like 15 hours. So it's worth it if you want to compete for a high level time in this game. But it's not like super meaningful if you're just doing runs. So Three Ash Castle has these razors that we have to avoid. In this second room here, I'm gonna go for a very precise P speed. Hopefully I can get it. Nice, got it. So this allows me to skip that razor right there, that giant razor, as well as just fly over all of these razors right here. The backup strat loses about a second. So if you don't get that early P speed, it's not a huge deal. So Wendy Koopa, so she's going to be raising the water up here, and you cannot hit Wendy while she's in the water, so I have to wait for the water to raise down. Wendy has a pretty weird hitbox, so I can't just hit her right when she comes out of her shell. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing these ground pounds, and it actually like kind of extends Mario's hitbox a little bit, so that I can hit Wendy earlier than if I were to just try and jump on her without getting hit. So it's one of those like weird things about Wendy. There's another Koopaling later on that is also like that, but I feel like that Koopaling is a little bit worse, but we'll see when we get there. So that's World 3 completed right there. And now we're moving on to World 4. And the run has been pretty straightforward so far, but World 4 is where things start to get pretty interesting. And as you can see, if you look at the entirety of this world map right here, there's a lot of levels here in World 4. So it is actually the longest world in the game. It has the most amount of levels if you count all the levels in this game. But World 4 in this run is actually the shortest world, because we actually, despite how World 4 looks, we actually only do 4 levels. And that's because there's a secret exit that we're going to be getting in the next level that allows us to skip a lot of World 4. So we just kind of fly over a bunch of these things here in 4-1. The only thing to talk about here in 4-1 is that there's these mini Goombas that kind of minimize your jump height, but we didn't have to worry about that this time. And now here we are at 4-Ghosts, where we are going to be getting the secret exit that allows us to skip a lot of World 4, which also includes the tower level as well, which is fortunate because the tower level is a very long auto-scroller. This level here is also an auto-scroller, so this is another opportunity to read any donations or if you have anything you want to say.
Nextlation actually sent in $50 saying, "Good luck, M-chan. Go for the YOLO." Can I ask what the YOLO is?
So the YOLO is a strat in 5-Castle later on, where there's a huge piranha plant that I have to fly through. It's very inconsistent. It saves 3 seconds. But
it is inconsistent. Well,
yeah, it's not very consistent.
Nextlation seems to want you to do it. Thank you so much for your donation.
We'll see. I like this run so far. I don't know if it's worth killing the run for that.
I mean, we definitely don't want you to join these ghosts here.
Yeah, you'll see what it looks like if I... Yeah, you'll see what it looks like if I do go for it.
All right, well, they are kindly saying in the chat that you don't have to, smiley face.
Alright, so that's the secret exit here in 4-Ghosts. And so after this level, 4-B is going to take us straight to the castle. So there's not much to say about this level, so if you have maybe one donation or one minor thing you want to talk about, then this would be a good time.
Sure thing. Did actually just want to remind everyone, of course, this is for the Trevor Project. If you're not sure what the Trevor Project is, the Trevor Project is the world's largest suicide prevention and crisis intervention organization for LGBTQ youth. That's lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning, which of course includes you if you're not sure. So it's for anyone who feels that they belong or might belong to that community. The organization works to save young lives by providing support through. I'm really sorry. I'm just stumbling over my words. I'm so excited to talk about this. They provide support through free and confidential suicide prevention and crisis intervention programs on platforms where most people spend their time now, whether it's through their 24/7 phone lifeline, through chat, through text, and they're working on getting some social media platforms set up as well, including Trevor Space, the world's largest faith-based social networking site for LGBTQ youth. So that's where all of your donations, all of the money, subs, even to Power Up with Pride, is going to the Trevor Project for this marathon. So again, thank you all so much for your support.
Thank you. So a lot of things to talk about there. The first thing is I grabbed the coin block. I finally grabbed the coin block that was following me, and that is to boost through a fire bar that I would otherwise have to wait for. And then the second thing is I grabbed a star from a roulette block, and roulette blocks are basically these blocks that contain any power-up, and they roll in a cycle. And if you move in a very specific way, then you kind of manipulate what power-up you can get from the roulette block. It's not random. So you just saw I did very specific movement to grab a star from that roulette block, and that's gonna allowed me to run through all the different obstacles that I would otherwise have to run through if I was doing the level normally. And then the other thing is I did a damage boost through the giant spiky ball before the boss, and that's because it's not a very good way to dodge the spiky balls without losing too much time. So we may as well take the damage boost. Plus, I still have my other leaf that's on my bottom screen, so it's worth doing the damage boost as I can still get my leaf. And that was Morton Koopa Jr. Morton Koopa Jr. As you saw, a pretty tough fight. I made it through. It's so difficult. I didn't have to explain how that fight works.
Sorry. But thank you so much for doing this for charity.
No problem. All right. Now here we are in World 5, and World 5 is much like World 4, where there's a lot of levels here in World 5, but we're going to be skipping a lot of World 5. There are 3 secret exits that all combined together allows us to skip a lot of World 5, which also includes the tower level as well. But also, all 4 levels that we do have ways where if you mess up, then you're pretty much losing like a handful of seconds, or I could die, which, this run's going so well so far, so I hope I don't die. So that's 5-1. There's a really hard strat at the very end of the level that I didn't do, where you can actually go inside the Ring of Koopas without having to go over the Ring of Koopas like I did. It saves very little time. It's also very difficult, so I didn't go for it. 5-Ghost House is... if it goes well, then it looks really easy, but it's actually, not very easy. The second part of this level is the hardest part here. So let's see how this goes. There are these swoopers, as well as these swinging ropes. Nice! And then I face backwards like this in order to get that boot to get out of the way by the time it gets to that door. And there we go. That was a very good level right there. That is much harder than I made that look. As it is very easy to get hit by those swoopers if you mess up anything in that level. And then also the cycles of the swinging ropes can throw you off if you mess up pretty hard. But now here we are in 5-A, and 5-A is a coin ship level, where it's a level where you can get a lot of coins. But I'm just gonna sit here, stand to the left, and then just relax my hands while Zokubun tells you all about how awesome Power Up with Pride is.
Oh, Power Up with Pride is extremely awesome. Thank you so much for that, Chan. I did want to point out that we're very sorry about the mistake. You are, in fact, mchan338, and we've happily corrected that on the layout. But
Oh, okay.
so thank you so much for pointing that out. This is our last day of our marathon. But we've got a lot of awesome runs coming up for you, including a Link to the Past randomizer. You can definitely get a t-shirt for that at theyeti.com. But, did you ever want to influence a run? I mean, yeah, I know we've got like all the incentives and such, and actually that's what I'm here to talk to you about. You can pick the music for the Link to the Past rando. Right now, it looks like our choices are between A Link Between Worlds, Kay's Story, Celeste, and Katamari Damacy. And A Link Between Worlds is winning with $50, and it's in the lead. But you can get any of those up by making your donations. Just go to ! Donate in the chat to get that link. And Arborelia will be running that in just a few short hours, so you want to get those donations in as soon as possible. And of course, if you're not sure about maybe making get your music choices, maybe you want to unlock something else. Unlock. We have a locked game. It's Hollow Knight. You won't get to see it unless we hit our goal of $3,000. We're at 524. So you know where that money needs to go to if you want to see Hollow Knight later today.
All right, so since there's a donation incentive to go for the YOLO strat, I'm gonna go for it as coming up this 5-castle. So 5-castle, there's these moving grates they have to use in order to ride across lava, but we're gonna fly over all of that. And it's divided up into 3 different sections. The third section is where the YOLO is going to happen. You'll see what it looks like if I get it. If I get it, I'll go for it once. If I get it, I'll throw in $20.
Oh. I believe Mario has thrown the gloves down here then.
All right, that's one part. That's 2. All right, here it is coming up. Oh, baby, let's go. Oh my god. There it is, next Lation. I hope you're happy. So
Can we get some applause for MJ in the chat, please?
Wow, I did not think I'd get that.
That was smooth.
Yeah, so that is a lot harder than despite how that looks. Giant piranha can sometimes hit you, and if you do get hit by that giant piranha, then you are dead. And that saves 3 seconds over the other strat, where you just basically just ride the last grate through the lava. And it saves 3 seconds. I didn't think I'd get it, but we got it. And so now I have to donate $20 after this run. That is not a strat that I go for in my regular PB attempts. That is only like a strat that you go for in world record attempts, because, you know, it saves 3 seconds. But, you know, when you don't need to save time in order to PB, then you just go for the consistency. Wow. Alright, so World 6, the final world of the run here. It is packed with a bunch of things that we've been doing so far. The first thing here is... Okay. 6-1 has these falling meteors that are random, but when you're going through this level as fast as you can, then you do not have to worry about any of the meteors getting in your way. So, pretty straightforward level right there. Make M-Chen empty his pockets challenge. Well, already doing that.
More.
Yeah.
I mean, I do see you've got 999,999 coins down there.
Yeah, I have to wipe my cartridge after this. Alright, so 6-Ghost House. is a very complicated ghost house because there are these rooms that look very similar to each other. But obviously, since we're speedrunning, we know exactly where to go. So that arrow right there is pointing left, but we're going to go not left and go into this door right here, which looks like I'm going back to the same room, but it's actually a different room here. I face backwards in order to get this boot out of my way to hit the switch. And then something to note about this room right here is if I wall jump frame perfectly up to the top, then I can actually save 2 wall jumps, which saves a second. Oh, we got it. That is not very easy to do, as if you know anything about how frame perfect anything works. So we just saved ourselves a second there. Alright, so getting that secret exit in Sikash Ghost House is nice because, as you can see, the bottom path is very long, tons of levels. There's 2 levels on the bottom path that feature 2 of the hardest skips in the game, and fortunately, since it's warpless, we don't have to worry about doing those hard levels at all. So what we get here is a pretty straightforward level here. We're gonna go ahead and fly up in order to skip that long vertical climbing section. Well, it's not long, but it's a pretty minor vertical section. And now coming up in the next level, 6-Tower, is split into 2 parts. The first part is a technical climb, and then the second part is an auto-scroller skip, where normally there's moving platforms they have to use in order to right up to the top of the level, but we're going to just fly up to the top of the level instead. This is the hardest level normally in the any % run.
And I'm hearing that we are back, so thank you all so much for your patience. Once again, M-chan, the floor is yours.
Alright, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. My PC blue screened in the middle of the run, so we're a little bit more behind than we'd like to, but let's just continue. So I'm gonna start back up in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so the skip's coming up right now. Grab this extra leaf right here. And there we go. Alright, so the very last Reznor fight, here we go. Oh man. Alright, so like I mentioned earlier, that is the rare instance where Reznor can shoot a fireball, and that just happened to happen right there. Of course, on the very last Reznor fights. Had to happen eventually, but not a big deal. There's a leaf in the next level. That's one of the fortunate things about running this game. There's always a way in this game. You always have a way to save yourself, so your run's not completely dead if you mess up something. Alright, so this level right here has a skip at the very end here. Hopefully I can get it. There we go. That is a very precise P-speed to get, and that just skips having to ride that platform all the way to the end of the level. Alright, so we have 2 more levels left to go here. 6-5 is a pretty straightforward level. The thing to know about this level here is there are a bunch of obstacles, such as these fireballs as well as some spiky balls. And in the second half of the level, we are going to be setting up triple jumps, because triple jumps are higher than a regular jump, and that's how you're going to avoid many of the obstacles here. So here's the first triple jump right here. You cannot clear all that with just a regular jump. And same with this jump right here. Okay, so one more level left to go, and that is 6-Castle, and that is this level is the longest level in the game, and it features a bunch of different things here. There's damage boost, there's precise movement, there's an auto-scroller skip. So let's see how this goes. So coming up, we're going to be doing a damage boost, and that is because there's just not a very good way to dodge all these enemies here without losing too much time. And then I equip my other leaf right there. Do a triple jump to avoid all of those flamethrowers right there. And then here in this next room, you're supposed to ride this block snake across the screen, but we're just gonna fly over it instead, just like this. And then now this very last part right here, there are these Koopalings, they're back, and what they're going to do is they're going to unleash this flash attack, and when you get hit by the flash attack, then you get turned to stone. And as you can see, in this room, there's a lot of places where if you get turned to stone, then you're probably dead, because if you're turned to stone, you have to mash really fast in order to struggle out of the petrified form. If you're behind any of the walls, then you can avoid getting stoned. Alright, so the corridor room right here, grab that extra leaf. You don't usually pick it up in PB attempts, but in a marathon you almost always get it. The fireballs here are always the same, so you just dodge the fireballs the same way each time. And then now we have Bowser, hardest fight in the game. Let's do this. I'm nervous. Oh my goodness, I did it! Let's go! But that's actually a precise jump there. You have a few pixels to make over that jump. What? Oh no! What is this? Oh, looks like we have to go after the princess. Oh, the Koopalings are back. What are they gonna do? Oh man, they brought Bowser back. Who would have saw this coming? All right, and so the escape sequence. The escape sequence is basically a long 2-minute auto-scroller up to the top of the castle. There's 3 parts into the escape sequence, and what we do in order to get up to the next part as soon as we can is we count how many times Bowser swipes and then fly up to the top. So what I did there is I counted Bowser swiping 4 times and then fly up to the second part right here. The second part right here, you can fly up to the next part within 4 swipes as well. However, Bowser will always do a 5th swipe no matter what, so you can kind of take your time here in this second part. There's also these fireballs shooting from the statues, but you don't really have much to worry about there. You can actually do this escape sequence without P-Speed, and it's just around the same time, but it's easier to get up to the next part with P-Speed. And now we're coming to this third part right here. In the third part, you can get to the top within 3 swipes. And then also, there's a giant switch at the end, and as soon as I hit that, that's when time ends. You get 1, that's the second swipe, and then as soon as Bowser swipes his 3rd time, oh, time. I don't really know what my exact time is, given that I had the blue screen crash, but you know,
Let's show 47 minutes on on our layout.
Okay, I'll retime it later on my own to see what it actually is, but you know, it was a really good run. I had fun with this run, with the exception of the blue screen. The blue screen wasn't so fun, but
But you hit the YOLO, and oh my gosh, that was so smooth.
yeah, it's a really good run. I'm really happy with this run.
Right, and
yeah.
thank you so much for doing this, Chan. As you mentioned, it was last minute, and we really appreciate you stepping up. Real quick, if people want to find you, where can they?
I'm live on Twitch. I stream like around 4 times a week on my Twitch channel, mchan238. And so if you like what you saw of this run, you want to know more about the run, then you can go and come to my stream, because I stream this game very frequently. I actually speedrun all the new Super Mario Bros. Games within the series, but I mainly run this game as well as the new Super Luigi U. So if you want to know more about this game as well as the series, then you can go to my stream. I'm also a Zelda speedrunner, so if you like Zelda games, then I also stream those games as well. So yeah, I don't have much else to say other than the fact that I'm really happy with how this run went.
Save the princess. That's the
I did save the princess. Yeah, you can actually move around and grab all these coins. It's a little fun little minigame that you can mess around with in the credits, but that's really it. But yeah, thank you to the Power Up with Pride staff for adding this run in yesterday. It's always an honor for me to participate in this marathon. I've been participating in these events since 2018, I think, and this is my 5th run within the marathon itself. And it's always amazing, you know, being able to participate in this event, because the community for this event is really awesome. Very supportive runners, and the cause itself is great. And if you're new to this event, then I'd highly recommend supporting the cause, as you know, it's
the cause that we're near to all of our hearts. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the cause that we're supporting, the Trevor Project, it's a pretty big deal. But yeah, that's all I have. So again, thanks for letting me participate. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, thank you for letting me participate. And yeah, good luck to everybody else on their runs, and I hope the rest of the marathon goes well.
And I hope you get some rest.
Yeah, I woke up at 5 a.m. just to perform this run.
And folks, there you have it. That is what we're willing to do for charity here at Power Up with Pride 2022. Can we get some more claps and GGs in the chat for M-Chan? That was an amazing run. He got the YOLO, and he powered through a blue screen. Computers, am I right?